Keep away from Pumpkinhead unless you're tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He's mean and unforgiving. Laugh at him and you're undone, but in some dreadful fashion. Vengeance he considers fun and plans it with a passion. Time will not erase or blot a plot that he has brewing. It's when you think that he's forgot, he'll conjure your undoing. Bolted doors and windows barred, guard dogs prowling in the yard. Won't protect you in your bed. Nothing will from Pumpkinhead. Hey, Turkey, this is Dan and Margie, and we're the Gen-Xers. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, good. It's almost Halloween.
It is almost Halloween.
We're way excited.
Just realized I got some of my notes in my coffee cup.
Oh, no.
Hopefully scary.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. We're ready for Halloween. We are getting our costumes ready. We're getting our Halloween special ready.
That's right.
Which is going to be on Halloween night.
Spookstravaganza.
Subscribe-a-thon, Spooktacular, Halloween night at the witching hour of 10 p.m. It's going to start at 10 p.m. Who knows when it'll go to?
At least I will make a solemn vow to you that it'll go to at least 10:40.
Yes.
No, we're going at least till midnight.
That's right. That's right.
At least 2 hours. Who knows what all we'll do. We know one thing we're going to do. The review of that O Exorcist Believers, which we keep talking about, but it was so bad.
It's so scary.
I have nightmares on how scary it was.
Yeah, that one's very scary. We're going to save that for Halloween night. Along with top threes, along with reviews, some true scary stories, some costumes, some fun. Like, we're just going to have fun.
More costume changes than Cher.
Yeah.
Cher concert.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Cher, buddy, you know that's a couple.
Yeah, that's a few.
Yeah. How are you all doing out there? If you're new, don't forget to hit that old like, subscribe button. Those of you who are here every week, howdy, howdy, howdy. Yeah, another Halloween-themed show at Pumpkinhead, Marge.
Yeah.
This is your week. You love that old Pumpkinhead, don't you?
I do like Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead was, it was kind of, like real life for me, because we lived out in the woods at that time. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Pumpkinhead later on. We're going to be talking about our predictions for the NBA 25-26 season.
We've been doing this. By the way, I just got a notification from YouTube that it's our 3-year anniversary, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. We've been predicting the NBA Finals for 3 years, and we've not even come close.
What? Yeah, we're not. These are not spot on predictions at all. But we always have a good laugh whenever we look back at them at the end of the NBA season and go, what did we say again?
Yeah.
That was totally wrong. Completely wrong.
But we'll make them and we'll stick by them, and just like the real talking heads do.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Marge, we had a little bit of show and tell I wanted to do. Just because you brought up some old, I don't know, junk drawer thing or something. You said, look through this and tell me, or take out anything you want that's super important. The rest I've got to get rid of.
Right.
Well, there was all kinds of crap. I mean, stuff in there, good stuff.
I mean, super important stuff.
That you were going to throw away, like this. A little fart machine.
I am so glad you saved that.
Sure, it's old and it sounds, that's some
like
lazy flatulence now, but it's still
like
funny.
Cow that's very ill, but it's still worth a lot.
Found this little Weeble Wobble.
Nice.
I used to love Weeble Wobbles. I don't know why. That was a lot of fun for me. Can you imagine a kid trying to play with this thing now in the internet age?
Right.
Give him this thing, say, here, take this piece of plastic with some paper wrapped up in it, and
it rocks back and forth.
see if you can knock it down.
What more do you want?
Yeah, it was my favorite toy for a while.
I had the choice of this, generally. I had a farm Weeble Wobble set. Or a water toy, where I could try to shoot baskets into the basketball hoop hours of entertainment and fun.
All I had was that winter. My parents had to save up all year.
For one Weeble Wobble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of my notes, I just wanted to show, here are my notes when we're watching a movie and I'm trying to write down some things. Can you imagine trying to read that afterwards? And by the page 2, my hand really gets tired and I just give up. All up here, folks. That's why I never get anything wrong. Is that right? Mind like an iron trap.
Right.
So I got a whole list of things here, hon. I'm sorry. I know you got
You do.
something too, I'm just bullying right over you. But look,
No, you got really excited about this show and tell, so I'm glad you're making the most of it.
I wanted to show this last week. My daughter made that based on the old Phantasm skit I made of the Phantasm Ball, so debonair.
Yeah.
And I love it.
She knows you're a fan addict. PHAN.
There's a water douse stick, but that's for later.
Yeah.
That's what we call in the biz a tease. The YouTube biz.
That'll keep them glued to their seats.
You never know when that old fart but's gonna go off either.
Right.
All right, what do
Well,
you got?
like I said, later on we're going to do our NBA predictions for the 25-26 year for you guys. But right now, I think we should talk a little bit about Pumpkinhead, which is one of my favorite Halloween movies. So, yeah, I think we should roll that beautiful bean footage, Johnny.
Here we go.
Hi, guys. I'm here with a review of one of my favorite Halloween movies, Pumpkinhead.
Is that why you married a guy with a head as big as a pumpkin?
Yes, I did. No, Pumpkinhead is a movie that came out in 1988. Have you ever heard of it?
I had. I mean, I'd watched it probably once before we got married because I watched all the scary ones. Even though my interest in scary movies was waning by then. And then again after we got married because it was one of your favorites.
Yeah.
And then probably not again until just now.
Yeah. We kind of watched it on a loop when I was younger because me and my best friend Connie would, we discovered it at that time when we were, going to sleepovers at each other's houses. And we lived out in the woods. Like both of us, she lived in a little house on the end of this haunted road. And I lived in a farmhouse out on what was probably a haunted road. Neither one of us had close neighbors. Like you could see them maybe, but you couldn't easily walk to them. The rest was like woods.
And they were probably a witch.
Probably.
I don't know if you knew this, but Missouri has more witches per capita than any other state. Not Wiccans, I'm talking the broom riding, black cat familiar, put a curse on you type.
Well, yeah, that's the
old granny witches.
Yeah, that's what we've come up with after the latest census, from what I understand.
Yeah, I mean, according to the latest data, I wouldn't just make something up. Not on this show.
Right. But this movie came out in 1988 at the height of our sleepover mania at each other's houses. And we discovered this, and we watched it on a loop. It was, in researching it, I found out that it was actually based on a poem. Yeah,
by Ed Justin. I had to look that up, too. Not really a poet. He was a movie marketing guy, but he wrote that to scare his grandkids, I guess. And somehow it got into the hands of this director, who also wasn't really a director. He was more of a makeup and special effects person, and then just did this movie.
So, like I said, we watched this movie a lot because it appealed to me. Me and my best friend, we both lived out in the woods, out in the country. And this movie is obviously set somewhere deep in the woods, somewhere southern. We don't really know where.
Southern or southern, Midwest of southern, because it's hill people, so that would be Missouri, Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee.
They kind of don't say where they're from.
Well, and the accents are a little bit all over the place, and you know how Hollywood is. They don't get southern accents right, because I'm pretty good at them. I can tell if someone's out from the South by their accent. Not in Pumpkinhead.
Looking for an old woman. She lives somewhere in the mountains hereabouts.
Speaking of that, please, I beg of you, if you watch this movie, go to the very end of it, when you're all done with it. And there's a scene where one of the neighborhood kids, like his dad tells him, go inside and get away, don't mess around with this Pumpkinhead. But the way he says it is so unintelligible. He's like, you go on. I don't know what it is, but when he's talked, I was like, that is no accent I've ever heard on this earth.
I would guess Arkansas or Missouri based on how, because of the harsher accents, but I don't know because sometimes it's jilting Georgia accent. Going on over here now, Pumpkinhead. Go ahead and get yourself a drink of this mint julep. There's some acting in this movie by Mr. Lance Hendrickson, who is also the star of Exorcism at 60,000 Feet.
So we start out, Dan,
with him shirtless, burning something with a homemade flamethrower, as country people do. That is true. I've seen such things.
No, we start out even sooner than that. Okay. We're going to go back because this story starts out like a lot of fairy tales do in the Once Upon a Time. And they introduce us to Once Upon a Time in 1957. There was a little boy who was in a cabin in the hills with his family, and he was terrified watching as his family turned somebody away at the door who was beating on the door, trying to get away from a monster outside. It's late at night, and his family's telling him, be quiet. We can't help this person. Shush. Go to bed. It'll all be okay in the morning. And we find out that when this little boy grows up, and it's now 1988, it is Ed Harley. It is our protagonist of the story, the main character of the story, Lance Henriksen, who does a great job portraying Ed Harley. Ed Harley is a widowed father of a young son who's probably, 7 maybe? 6, 7?
Yeah, he's a youngster.
He's a young little tyke. He's adorable. Well then, here come these punk, citified,
city kids,
fake leather wearing, dirt bike riding city kids. And they're on vacation out in the country, and they're just sneering at all the stuff. Oh, look at this dumb stuff. You know, here we are throwing beer cans out of our Lamborghini or, whatever. It's quite apparent they don't care about anything.
They got a Sylvester Stallone, a Rocky type they needed as the leader of the gang. And they love this guy, Margaret. Like, they come in on their dirt bikes, and they go out on the dirt here, and one lady calls this guy an a-hole, and her boyfriend says, oh, but what a talented a-hole. And this whole tactic talented what? He's doing some half-assed wheelies that ain't that good, really. And then he puts his foot down on the ground and spins his bike around it, and they're like, woo, hey, look how great this guy is.
You know what, though? As a kid, I could identify with that talent because I could do almost the same thing on my bicycle.
As good as he could?
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, you would have probably leader of your pack then.
I was. I was.
That's all it took.
So what happens is these city folks, these city kids come in town. They stop by Ed Harley's store sneering at everything, and they pop out their dirt bikes, and they start doing the wheelies and showing us just how much talent they have. They've been drinking this whole time. And one of them, unfortunately, pops up over a hill, and Ed Harley's life is changed forever because his son is in the way and his son is killed.
Yeah, this is some Pet Cemetery level stuff. Like, it's even got a scene where one of the girls in this group is running toward that kid. And she's so uncoordinated, and she's running. She goes, wait, whatever. Then she falls down, and she, whatever.
And then she's reaching for him. Little kid. Quick fun fact that we find out before this horrific accident is that the local hill kids come into town, and we find out that one of their favorite pastimes is actually dancing in a circle and singing the Pumpkinhead song, of which there is one.
Look, I can legit remember the hill kids coming in town.
And singing the Pumpkinhead?
I mean, there were some kids that come in from the neighboring town here, families of 14, 15, that didn't come out of the holler much.
But anyway, so these kids, kill poor Ed Harley's son. Ed Harley marks them with his eyes. Okay?
Yeah,
they flee. They've run away to whatever cabin they were set to, vacation in anyway, but they're kind of hiding out because dude was drunk when he hit the kid. He's like, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm hiding out. His friends are trying to convince him, please, turn yourself in, but they're hiding out in a cabin.
But ultimately, they do what he says because, you saw those willies.
Right. Yeah. But Ed Harley discovers what has happened to his son. He takes him home. He grieves very briefly, and then quickly moves on to a second phase of grief, which is utter and complete anger.
Revenge.
Revenge.
It's a revenge story.
Okay? It's very much a revenge story. Because it's Ed Harley, and because we remember him back in 1957, he remembers old Pumpkinhead.
Yeah.
So he goes to one of his neighbors and asks him about this woman in the woods.
Happens to be those kids that came into town singing the Pumpkinhead song.
Right. You know the woman I'm talking about. She's got powers, he says. And his neighbor's like, I'm not going to help you. I'm not, get away. I'm not dealing with that. But the neighbor's kid that was out front singing the Pumpkinhead song is like, I'll help you. I know where the lady is.
I know the Pumpkinhead song.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Pumpkinhead was soft and kind when I was crying. Pumpkinhead, hard as steel when I done wrong. Do you remember that one?
No, I don't. It's a good one.
But there was always love in Pumpkinhead. The Judds sang it.
Oh, so he asks his neighbor for help in getting to this woman, the woman.
It's always an old woman with these powers. Mark, when's your powers kick in?
I don't know. I'm waiting.
I think they've already kicked in. You cursed me.
But he, his neighbor doesn't help him. He doesn't. He's like, get away. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not going to help you with that. The neighbor's kid says, hey, psst, come with me and I'll show you where this lady is. The witch's name is Haggis.
That's a great name. You know, that costume, I had to write this down because I was so impressed by it. Florence, I'm going to pronounce it wrong, Schaeffler,
Okay.
played Haggis, and that costume she had to put on 65 pounds. And if you see a picture of her, I'll try to find one and put it here. She couldn't have weighed much more than 65 pounds herself.
Right.
Impressive.
Her voice is the fuel of nightmares.
I mean, if your nightmare is a bad country accent.
Afraid raising the dead ain't within my power.
No, it's not just that. She's all witchy. It's a very witchy voice, like they do.
Ed
Harley! Oh, Ed Harley, what you doing up on the side of this mountain?
Y'all come back now, yeah.
It's way scarier than that. But she's terrifying. The lady who plays Haggis just plays her really well.
Yeah,
she's
cool.
terrifying. The effects are great. And Ed Harley tells her what he wants in a kind of a roundabout way. She tells him, you tell me. You say what you want, Ed Harley. And he tells her, I want revenge. So she tells him to go up in the woods to the old graveyard where they used to bury things that they was ashamed of. You know the one, Ed Harley.
Kinfolks they were ashamed of. They're going to bury me.
And she tells him to go up to that graveyard and gather up Pumpkinhead's bones. So he goes up to the graveyard. Here's another brief PSA for you guys. I would look up and see what this abandoned graveyard looks like, just in case you don't accidentally stumble upon one in the woods inadvertently and raise a demon. It's pretty scary. It's pretty hard to miss. She said you're going to know what it looks like.
Look, I would go one step further and say never go to an old witching woman for revenge.
Right.
It's just, what good could come of it? There's been enough,
There's been enough of that.
There's been enough warnings.
There's been enough of
Never
that in
turns
today's
out good.
world. Quit going to witches for
Making
your
a
stuff.
deal with the devil or a witch or anything to get your revenge never works out well.
Yeah, so he goes out to this unmistakably spooky, possessed graveyard, and he digs up these bones. He brings it back to the witch who raises Pumpkinhead. Once the witch raises Pumpkinhead, Ed Harley almost instantly regrets his decision, but not quite. He goes home, and Pumpkinhead starts doing his work of wreaking vengeance for Ed Harley. But what Ed finds is that he is living these moments as Pumpkinhead is wreaking his vengeance. He is Pumpkinhead as Pumpkinhead is carrying out these horrific slasher deaths. And what a mythical, kind of fairy tale way of putting that.
It's
you
a
know.
cool little twist, and again, the makeup gets so good because Pumpkinhead starts to look more and more like Ed Harley. And as good as all these special effects are, early on, one of the things I noticed about this movie I really liked is how much of it was off camera. Like sometimes you leave it to the viewer's imagination. It's much better than just showing or whatever. Yeah. And then later, by the time you do get to see Pumpkinhead, it's not given away early on. When you do see him, it's like, oh my God.
Right. At first, that they very much use shadows of, and just little peaks of maybe a claw or something like that. But then later on, you do see it. It's very much like the way Steven Spielberg did Jaws.
You think it'd win a fight between Pumpkinhead and Jaws?
Jaws.
That'd be a tough one. But depending on whether they're on land or water.
Right. I think on land.
You put a pumpkin in
Jaws
water, it'll fall apart pretty
struggle.
soon. Yeah.
A bit.
Well, I mean, Pumpkinhead wouldn't be no great shakes in the ocean either.
Right. Oh, that was the like and subscribe, hit the like and subscribe radio mishap. Anywho, Pumpkinhead is wreaking his vengeance. Ed Harley is regretting it. He goes to the management and says, I want a refund. I didn't want it this way. And the witch is like, tough. Like, this is how the spell works. And so he's like, I'm going to stop it myself. So he runs, he's trying to follow Pumpkinhead as Pumpkinhead is trying to wreak Ed Harley's very own vengeance against these kids who killed his son. Finally finds Pumpkinhead. I'm not going to tell you who won. But I will say that when we wrap it up in a great fairy tale way. And we see Haggis in one of the very ending scenes reburying Pumpkinhead's bones back in the old graveyard, just as a fairy tale should end.
Well, there's been 3 more Pumpkinheads.
Oh, goodness.
Pumpkinhead 2, Blood Wings, 1994. Mm-hmm. Pumpkinhead 3, Ashes to Ashes, 2006. And Pumpkinhead 4, Blood Feud, 2007. I gotta see that. Or I gotta see who Pumpkinhead's blood feuding with.
Right.
Probably Avocado Head.
Is there Pumpkinhead? Is there one called Pumpkinhead versus Freddy and Jason or anything like that?
That would be pretty good.
That would be pretty good, wouldn't it?
Pumpkinhead versus Jaws. That's the movie I want to see made.
Right. I would totally give this show probably a good 9 out of 10 Pumpkinheads. Yeah. I think some of the acting on the City Slickers side is a little bit weak, but it kind of adds to the, the kind of cheesy quality of the film. I think that could have been a little bit better, just based on the acting from the other side of the fence, which was Lance Henriksen and this great lady who plays Haggis. But overall, I love this movie. I encourage you guys to go out and see it. I think you're going to like it. Watch out. Like I said, it is gory.
Yeah, nobody's watching Pumpkinhead or any Hollywood movie for accurate Southern accents, I don't think. It's an hour and a half of fun, man. It goes by fast. Like you said, it's like a creepy fairy tale. If you've seen Weapons, I'd say the tone is somewhat like that. It's a totally different movie, but whatever, the tone is a little bit like Weapons was.
Kind of, yeah.
And the if you're a fan of practical special effects, it doesn't get much better than Pumpkinhead.
Yeah, and plus, Pumpkinhead, when he's young, is adorable. Yeah. He just gets bigger. And then
he's kind of cute when he's bigger.
He's cute when he's bigger.
You didn't know he was
He's adorable when he's a baby. I would totally take a tiny little baby Halloween Pumpkinhead.
He's not bad. He's just got bad owners.
How'd you like that review, old Ed Harley?
I thought it was pretty good, Ed Harley. It's impossible to watch that movie or even discuss it, at least for us, without trying to do impersonation of the witch. Now look, Mark, earlier I told you, well, first of all, it's no secret I've been growing my hair out. Like, I don't know if you all follow the news, or if you read Time magazine or whatnot. I've been growing it out. Yeah, it's been all over The View.
Right.
And I told you earlier, all it takes is one strand of my hair to pop out from this hat, and I look insane. I look like a mad like, watch this.
Okay.
I look like a mad scientist here. Look, this is my life now, to cause a fear.
Can I please go shopping with you just like that? Can we
sure, we got tomorrow.
Shopping?
We'll film it for
okay.
Halloween episode.
Yeah, you gotta go shopping with me.
We're both technically from the Ozarks. I mean, that's the original, what people called hillbillies. Mm-hmm. And I've got some stories to tell about that here in a minute. My grandma was a believer in a lot of stuff, and I never really, we'll talk about it a little bit. But first, I want to tell you about the time that I did run into a pumpkinhead.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's probably right before we got married. I don't think I ever told you about it, but I had been away with my big city dreams, right? So I'd left from home, and you know, like those old Stanley boys used to say in their bluegrass classic, you can't go home again. You just be a stranger in a strange land. But I tried. I thought I was going to go visit my old friend Schmaxy. Yeah, that was his name.
Yeah.
And at the trailer park that we used to live in. Like, we both lived there for a while. And so I pulled up to the old place. I had seen him a long time. Well, I mean, the trailer park's still there. Same old place. All the trailers around except where his was at. That was a mansion. You know, that stuck out like a sore thumb back home. But I mean, I've seen stranger things. So I got out of my car. I went up and knocked on it. This beautiful woman. No offense. I don't look at other women. I'm just being objective here. But she could have been Twiggy. I don't know if you remember Twiggy. As far as I know. And I'm like, that's not Schmaxy's wife there, even though her voice sounded exactly the same, but she looked totally different. I don't want to say how different because I don't judge people based on their looks.
Right.
I'll leave that to your imagination. But it was different. She said, she knew me though. She said, come on in, Dan. Schmaxy be down in a minute. So I went in, and sure enough, I mean, all the furniture was the same as it had been. I mean, there was a mansion on the inside. It was the same junk, or on the outside, same old junk inside. Sat down on Schmaxy's radio couch, just like a million times before. Mm-hmm. His wife, Belinda, Twiggy, whatever,
Right.
brought me a ice-cold Milwaukee's Best Light.
Mm-hmm.
Back in my drinking days, I don't drink anymore.
Right.
And this is one of the reasons why. Believe you me.
Wow.
Well, I put that on. I turned on some ESPN. I don't know who was on. The Bulls, Michael Jordan's sons back in the 90s. Anyway, she said, Schmaxy be down here in just a little bit. So I watched some game, drank a couple brews. I started hearing something come down. Looked up, and yeah, I mean, it looked like here he come. Down these stairs of this mansion, like a king or something. Same old skinny legs, same old whatever, until I got to the top of him and he had a big old fat pumpkin for a head. Really? Yeah, I didn't know what. So he came down, he sat down, he opened up a beer, and you haven't seen that until you see a pumpkin try to drink ice cold Miller Ice, which was his preferred drink. He try to stick it. This is just bubbly water, by the way.
Imagine
Trying to
it
get
would
that
be
down his
difficult.
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if it's lit. But anyway.
Okay.
I'm a southern gentleman. I don't want to say anything, but I eventually had enough beers in me. I got enough liquid courage. I said, Schmaxy, my gosh, man, what the heck happened? And he had the audacity to look at me with his big fat pumpkin head and say, what do you mean, Dan? And I said, well, first of all, we lived in a trailer park most of our lives, and now look at this, you live in a mansion. Secondly, I'm not talking out of school about Belinda, but we both know she wasn't what you'd call a looker. And now look at her, she was just like Twiggy. Thirdly, you got a big fat pumpkin for a head. I don't know if you've noticed.
Right.
Well, he sat back, popped open another brew. He said, well, I was down at the flea market, Dan. And we'd go out there, sell some old junk, buy some new junk. And I found this old brass lamp. I could polish it up and sell it for a little bit extra, so I brought it home. I did polish it up. And guess what? A genie popped out of that thing, just like the stories.
Really?
Now, I know right now you're all probably not believing me, but the proof's in the pudding, man. I saw it with my own eyes. Mm-hmm. And he said, the genie told me I could have 3 wishes. First of all, he said, they could be anything. And I said, anything. And he said, exactly. And he said, first, I don't want to live in that old trailer anymore. Please give me a mansion. Here it is. He got it.
Okay.
Secondly, I don't want Belinda to look like Belinda anymore. I want her to look like Twiggy. Well, there you go.
Okay.
a big sigh, just like that. I mean, it was like the weight of the world was on his shoulders, Margie. Yeah. And he said, that's how I made a big mistake, Dan. And I said, well, yeah. What was it? He said, I wished I had a big fat pumpkin for a head. Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Do it.
That's hard. It's hard times.
Yeah, horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible mistake to make.
Yeah.
But anyway, now I did grow up in the country. Did live in a trailer park for a little while. Trailer. Anyway. And the Whatnots. I lived in a chicken coop for a while. That's a whole other story. And like I said earlier, my grandma believed in a lot of this stuff. I remember one time I had a wart. And I was on there for a couple of weeks. I don't know, I was playing with frogs or whatever. But she was going to take me to this root lady or witching lady or whatever in town who could get it off some kind of magic way.
Like they talk about stump water and stuff like that?
I might have had something to do with stump water. I can't remember. My grandma told me, but then I never made it because I think maybe I was scared or something. I chewed that thing off. I know that's gross. I don't want to say it on national TV, but
oh my!
I'm going to hide from my past.
There were some that were about like stump water, and some where you had to and please don't do this at home, folks. Either way, any of these ways. But there was one where you had to cut it. And you got the blood and you buried it somewhere or something. I don't know. There was all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, I never knew anybody personally.
We had water witches. They go by different names. That's what we called them around here. I mean, I thought it was my dad or grandma one. But I can remember both talking about it. Showed me how to go out and find water. This is a dowsing stick. Now, you'll know one when you see it. You just got to look in your yard. It's got two things. You hold it like that. You walk around. And if you go over water, it starts bending down like that. If you got any old-timey country magic in you at all.
Right.
And I do.
I don't.
Start going down like that, and that's where you dig your well at.
Yeah, I don't have any of that magic. I've always had to call the utility services for those kinds of things.
Do you have any? Because I got a lot.
I have, well, okay, so I do know that I know of a couple people that use the old hold the ring over the belly when you're pregnant to try to figure out, what you're going to have.
My grandma did that for my sister. Yeah, if it goes back and forth, it's a boy, or a circle, it's a girl. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah,
I can't remember if she was right. I can just remember her doing it.
And I know, as far as me and the people that I personally had experiences with, the only other thing that I could really think of was saging houses. Or I know every time we've moved, I always buy a new broom, which is an old superstition that...
That's rich people magic.
Is it?
If you're giving away good sage,
it's what the
magic... good sage.
It's what the magic 8-ball told me to do.
I know, in a country, that costs money.
Oh.
We'd burn dirt.
You'd burn dirt? You'd burn dirt? Okay.
Well, I can remember my dad telling me all kinds of ghost stories, too. He grew up in a little town here called... I don't know, should I say it? It don't matter.
Sure.
Wortham. And he said it was the most haunted town in the world. He'd tell me about seeing spook lights, they called them, which is a kind of Ozark thing, I guess. I think other places have different names for them, because it's not just here that people see these things, like a will-o'-the-wisp type thing.
Foo lights,
yeah.
Another one, yeah.
Yeah, you see them out in the woods or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He tells me a story, or told me a story about driving past the Wortham graveyard, where one day I hope to be buried. And, well, I mean, a lot of my family's buried there. But anyway, driving past there and seeing his uncle walking right by, and he was going to stop and give him a ride before he realized his uncle had been dead for 2 weeks. Wow. He did turn back around anyway to see what the heck, and nothing. Didn't see nothing.
Didn't see anything.
And him and my mom both tell me they lived in a haunted house where they'd hear the door rattling at night, and they'd get up. My dad would grab his pistol probably and open the door, and nothing would be there. Glass moving across the room one night, or a table one night, they said.
Ooh.
But he said, and this goes in with our movie, I guess, that the reason that town was so haunted, and I tried to do some research on this, I found nothing, but that just surprised me, because this town is smaller than small.
Yeah.
He said that people of that church, when he was a kid, ran a lady out of town for being a witch, and that she stood on the steps of the church and said she put a curse on that entire town for eternity. I don't know. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Now, my grandma believed in this stuff, but I don't know how she did it in her mind. I've talked to her before. She is very religious. But she was an interesting person. She believed in witchcraft, the evil kind you want to stay away from. But I guess there was another kind that was okay, maybe like the wart lady or the water dowsing. Or she would cut open persimmons to see what the weather was going to be like, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Don't know. Interesting stuff. I mean, most of my life I spent trying to get away from that area, but the culture and the language and stuff, it's interesting history. I mean, when I was younger, now everybody wants to get away from where they're younger, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have any, like, I don't remember our family ever, like, getting into those kinds of things. Like, I guess we were too suburban, But yeah, I think the most we ever did was the ring over the tummy and burning sage using a magic 8-ball. That was it.
Lordy toit.
Right? Yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Chris. Thanks for hanging out with us. He said dowsers. Yeah, dowser sticks, dowser rods.
Right.
Whatever you want to call them. All right. Oh, and we have camped in a place where there's a rumor that there's a witch's grave there. Mm-hmm. And you can go out and see it. It's way out in the middle of the woods, and it is all by itself. And you want to describe to them what it looks like, maybe?
It's really, if we ever go out there again, just information about this site was that it was affected a few years back by floods that came through that were unexpected at the time. This was like floodland, but this was like catastrophic floods. So the campground may have been changed since then. I haven't been back there since that time, and I would like to go back there. But back in the day, we would camp down in the creek bottoms. And then when you came up out of the creek bottoms, you would go around, you'd go around on the highway to the hill part, which was above, which had like a general store. And then you could go even further up the hill by foot by these creepy old stone stairs that were put into the side of this hill that went up probably 2 stories worth of stairs, 1 or 2 stories worth of stairs going up to the top of this graveyard in the middle of the woods on this hill in the middle of the woods, kind of like Pumpkinhead. So, we were real careful up there not to disturb anything, grab any bones or anything like that. But it was a creepy little graveyard. And then there was a grave that was set apart. It was facing opposite of everybody else's grave in the graveyard. So I'm not sure what that meant, but it didn't seem good to me. Maybe. Kind of set apart. And yeah, that was the witch's graveyard. And you could definitely tell which of these graves didn't quite belong here, maybe, or was, put up in a different way for some reason.
When I was a kid, you didn't side with vampires or mummies or werewolves or witches or whatever. Now I know vampires are heroes. And I'm not talking about Wiccans. I'm talking about chicken sacrifice witches.
Wow, okay.
Oh, boy. I don't know. Hey, on a sad note, I did want to say, and we will have more on this on our Halloween subscriber special, which Margie will tell you a little bit about here in a minute. Mm-hmm. But on kind of a sadder note, we did a big Phantasm thing last week. Thank you to everybody who indulged me on that Phantasm deep dive and left a kind comment. There were several, and I appreciate it. But apparently Reggie Bannister has entered hospice care. The star of the Phantasm series 1 through 5, the hero, the balding guy with the ponytail and the 4-barreled shotgun and the awesome car.
Our unlikely hero.
And he would like to hear from fans through good old-fashioned snail mail at P.O. Box 4387, Crestline, California, 92325. If you're a Phantasm fan, like to write him, I plan on doing it.
Yeah.
And again, we'll have a lot more about that on our special. Tell them what about it, Margie.
Man, we're going to have...
See how professional I was, that whole thing?
That was great.
Until just then when I pointed out how professional I was.
Right, and you... Yep. No. No, we're going to have a Halloween special on Halloween. So next week we will not have our regular show on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. We're going to have our Halloween subscribe-a-thon spooktacular on Halloween night, October 31st, Friday at 10 p.m. And we're going to see how long we can go.
We're going to go as long as we can, yeah, at least till midnight.
Our goal is a mere 1 million subscribers. And we're not going to stop
In 2 hours.
until we get that number.
That's right.
And we're going to hopefully be able to tell you guys again about writing to Reggie Bannister. Please write to him. We're going to be writing to him, and we'll share that information on Halloween as well, along with our tribute to Reggie. We love you, Reggie. We love Phantasm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Anybody got anything else?
I don't think so. I think we're good. I thank you guys for coming by. Hit like and ring the bell.
As always, thank you, everybody. Yeah. Later, Tate.
Bye, guys.